Ito yung departure statement ni Pbbm sa kanyang pagpunta sa ASEAN GCC Summit. Alam naman natin na every time na lalayag, lilipad, bibiyahe itong si Pbbm ay meron muna siyang ganitong departure speech. So ito na yung kanyang pagpasok dito. Iba yung entrance niya doon sa entrance ni VP Sara. So makikita natin dito siya dumaan. At ang exit niya dito ay doon mismo sa pwesto. Ayan na, dito sa pwesto ni Martin Romualdez ni Tambaloslos. Ayan po, ito po. Makikita natin na andito si Madam VP Sara. Makikita mo hindi tumitingin si Sara dito sa direction na to kasi nandito si Tambaloslos. Pansinin niyo nakayuko or nakatingin lang siya doon, no? So ano yung relevance nito? Magkalayo sila itong dalawa. Hindi sila nagpapansin nandito pa lang. At ewan ko kung sino, pero nakita natin, okay, lumapit si Marcos kay Madam Sara. Itong si Tambaloslos tumitingin, pero never na nag-eye contact si VP Sara kay Tambaloslos.
Good morning, everyone. Please take your seats. Vice President Inday Duterte, Speaker Martin Romualdez, members of the cabinet here today, the AFP Chief of Staff is General Romeo.
Kaya ito yung during speeches nitong si Pbbm, no? Nakikita nyo ito dalawang magkabilaan ito from this angle lang parang magkatabi lang itong dalawa, pero ano yan ito yung left niya, ito yung right niya. Kaya kapag nagsasalita si Pbbm, tumitingin sa right niya, tumitingin sa left niya. Madalang siyang tumingin sa gitna kasi ito talaga yung kanyang binabasa. Ayan. So totoo yun, talagang teleprompter, no? Siyempre, kung diskarte naman ng every president yan kung paano sila mag-speech, di ba? Unlike kay Tatay Duterte na talagang galing sa kanyang puso. May gumagawa ng kanyang script, pero most of the times talagang parang introductory niya lang yun. And then, yung laging, yung susunod na sasabihin ni FPRRD ay yung galing sa kanyang puso, no?
AFP Chief of Staff is General Romeo Browner, and the heads of the different services, the commanders of the different services, General Benji Acorda.
Mapapansin nyo talaga si VP Sara, dyan lang siya. Yan si Tambaloslos, although makikita ko na itong si Tambaloslos parang may may takot, or kung hindi takot, parang hindi siya at ease, no?
Fellow workers in government, good morning. I leave for Riyadh, Saudi Arabia today to attend the ASEAN Gulf Cooperation Council Summit. I will meet with ASEAN and Gulf Cooperation Council leaders to discuss the challenges of major geopolitical developments and the comprehensive and concrete enhancement of our security, our economic progress, and socio-cultural collaboration after more than 30 years of ASEAN-GCC relations. I would like to point out that this is a particularly important conference because this is the first interaction between ASEAN and the GCC, both of whom are very vibrant regions in terms of economic development for the globe. And that is why the Philippines needs to be part of that discussion. It gives us, the Philippines, a unique opportunity to advance our priorities in ASEAN under the ASEAN GCC framework while forging closer.
Makikita nyo rito gising na gising si VP Sara sa pagdinig kay kay PBBM. Pero itong si Tambaloslos, inaantok. Ayan o, inaantok.
Workers. We will emphasize our advocacy for a rules-based international order to maintain peace and
Ops. Puyat na naman. Tagay pa more, Tambaloslos.
before I end, I would just like to make a comment because one of the important aspects of this trip will be for us to introduce the Maharlika Investment Fund to the rest of the world and certainly more specifically to the Middle Eastern countries. I was a bit alarmed by the news reports early this morning that I read in the newspapers that we have put the Maharlika Fund on hold. Quite the contrary.
Very good development. This was how Senate Minority Leader Aquilino Coco Pimentel called the recent move of the palace to suspend the Implementing Rules and Regulations or IRR of the Maharlika Investment Fund or MIF. The senator reiterates that the law has a lot of defects and its concept has not been fully studied from the beginning. Pimentel adds it is good that the Marcos administration appears to listen to reason. Senate Majority Leader Joel Villanueva also welcomed the president's move to ensure that proper safeguards are in place. For Senator Cheese Escudero, the Land Bank of the Philippines and the Development Bank of the Philippines or DBP should reclaim its contributions made to the MIF. The two state-run banks remitted 75 billion pesos collectively to the MIF seed capital as mandated by law.
Well, marahil patunay yun na yung pinasang batas ng Kongreso ay kulang pa sa pag-aaral at nagpapasalamat ako kay Pangulong Marcos na nakita niya yun at kung namang mga butas o pagkukulang na kailangan ayusin at linisin ay maaaring mahabol at ayusin pa. Ba't nila ginawa yun nang niwala pang nahihirang na CEO at mga members ng board at niwala pa IRR. Masyado naman yata sila nagmamadali nung ginawa at pinagpasahan nila yun.
MIF Act of 2023. The announcement was made by the Executive Secretary, Lucas Bersamin, through a memorandum dated October 12. In this memorandum, the Bureau of Treasury, in coordination with the Land Bank of the Philippines and the Development Bank of the Philippines, has been directed to suspend the implementation of the IRR for RA 11954.
President Bongbong Marcos is suspending the implementation of the law creating the Maharlika Investment Fund. In a memorandum dated October 12 and addressed to the heads of the Bureau of Treasury, Land Bank of the Philippines, and Development Bank of the Philippines, Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin says the implementation of the Implementing Rules and Regulations of the Maharlika Investment Fund Act of 2023 is suspended upon the directive of the President. The suspension stands pending the further study of the IRR.
I was a bit alarmed by the news reports early this morning that I read in the newspapers that we have put the Maharlika Fund on hold. Quite the contrary. We are the organization of the Maharlika Fund proceeds apace, and what I have done though is that we have found more improvements that we can make specifically to the organizational structure of the Maharlika Fund. The concept of the Maharlika Fund as a sovereign fund or an investment fund, the concept remains a good one. And we are still committed to having it operational before the end of the year. So we should not misinterpret what we have done as somehow a judgment on the rightness or wrongness of the Maharlika Fund. On the contrary, we are just finding ways to make it as close to perfect and ideal as possible.
Ganun ba yun, Mr. President? Hindi ba kayong nagbigay ng memo doon kay Executive Secretary ninyo na si Lucas Bersamin? Di siya yung sisihin mo. Pinick up lang naman yan ng media, di ba? Kung talaga kayo, di kondinahin mo yung media, kondinahin mo din si Lucas Bersamin. Di ba? Ano ba naman talaga yan? Nalilito ka na rin ba sa sarili mong minadaling batas, Mr. President? So dito makikita natin patapos na siya ng kanyang speech, ano? So si tayuan na, palakpakan na silang lahat, di ba? Nagsitayuan na, o tumayo si VP Sara, ayan o. Pagkatayo ni VP Sara, ayan o, nakita nyo, umalis ka agad. Ayan, umalis na siya kaagad. Umalis na kaagad, ayan siya, ayun. Umalis ka agad kasi ayaw niyang makitang pagmumukha. Siyempre, kamayan yan eh. Expected na yan na, di ba, magkakamayan na sila. So, yan, pumunta si ano doon. Wala na si VP Sara, umalis, walk out.